There was another question that came up in the chat, if we can get to Melody. It was about the pandemic and having amplified this. So it was from Charlotte. I'm not sure if you want to pop on, Charlotte, or if you want me to ask, but it was basically just, how is the pandemic and being isolated at home magnifying this for us?
Yeah, such a great question, Charlotte. And, I was laughing because I literally finished an article for Harvard Business Review yesterday about how much paranoia and imposter syndrome has increased since the pandemic.
Wow.
It's like being on the other end of being the coach with this is all I hear day in and day out from people. It was like a tidal wave and I couldn't believe it. I was really shocked. I was expecting to deal with, stress of uncertainty and financial worries. Not at all. What I got was paranoia of, I sent this email 3 hours ago. Why hasn't anybody responded? I must have missed the mark on that. Everybody's laughing at me behind my back and they're probably messaging during this meeting. They're looking away. Are they messaging about me? And just that level, it is off the charts right now. And I think it's for a lot of reasons. I think it's because of the disconnection. We have lost a lot of the organic cues that we had and that were nods of approval that we were doing okay, right? All these, touch bases and little gestures, all of that is gone. Now everything is so much more explicit and structured. Workloads are substantially increased. People are just more stressed. So we're working with fewer internal resources to begin with. And when we're doing that, imposter syndrome is more likely. It's hard to interpret body language over Zoom. So you're wondering again why people are looking away, or our mind fills in the gaps, right? And fills in the gaps negatively. So yes, to answer your question, I have definitely seen this gone up during the pandemic. And I would say the top way that I've seen people respond to it is with the sort of the perfectionist side of the camp, is with the overworking and the overcompensating. Let me try to take on more, be a part of more projects, be in every single meeting so I know what's being said and I don't miss out on anything. Let me respond to every email chain. This over functioning. And so really, especially since the beginning of the year, what I've been working a lot on with clients is building better boundaries, learning to say no, getting better at delegation. Even if you don't have a team, you have to delegate. If you are an individual contributor, you have different stakeholders that you need to delegate to, and you need to manage up to your boss. You need to, so really working with people on that skill set of not letting their imposter syndrome drive them to burnout.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Do we
I want to add to that if it's okay. I think in the past, because I have been hired in roles that felt like, oh my God, I'm not qualified for this. And then I go real overboard. And I mean, I'm successful in that. So it's not like a bad result, but currently I'm almost going the opposite direction into this like fight or flight response where I like go interview for other jobs that I don't really want and then have to turn them all down. I took a freelance job and then I was like, what am I doing? I have a full-time job. Like, so it's been a very odd, and like you're saying, like, oh, body cues on Zoom. I have not had one Zoom call with my employer the entire time. They don't do Zoom or any kind of, I have to go into the office with my mask to have like a face-to-face conversation. So I think I'm having like a very unique experience in this, that I'm so disconnected that I'm literally what you were saying about paranoia. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I sent an email 2 days ago. Nobody's responded. Are they going to fire me? Like, am I doing everything wrong? And then I'm not, but yeah. How to get past that feeling. My husband's like, what is wrong with you? They love you. Like, there's no reason to feel this way, but I'm just nonstop waking up in the middle of the night thinking about it. Like,
yeah, I hear you. And I'm hearing this from so many people. One, because I'm looking at time as well. So one kind of hack, one tool I'll give you, something I call it the rule of 5. You look at your hand, you think about 5 other ways of viewing the situation. What are 5 other alternative explanations for the situation that would explain this person's behavior, other ways I could look at this? and you count them off on your hand. So serves the double purpose of being a grounding exercise. When you're anxious, your mind starts going off in other directions and you lose focus on the present. So grounding, looking at your hand, counting off the other possibilities is like picking the needle of the record of your mind up off of the imposter syndrome track and putting it on a different track. And most clients will tell me that, they get 2 or 3 into other explanations and they start laughing at themselves, or they're like, this is ridiculous. And that's the whole purpose of it, is that it's meant to be a perspective taking exercise that encourages you to look for different perspectives, other solutions, to just think more creatively and not get sucked down that rabbit hole. So it's meant as a pattern interrupt in that way. So that's what I would say. I know it's not, I wish there was an easy button, but also I do want to talk a little bit about boundaries, because right now, when there's no separation between work and life, work is, for most people, filling in every crevice, right? Every second that you're working. After dinner, you'll go back to work, for example, and your mind is just constantly stimulated. There is never there. We used to have a forced separation of, you went to your office, you did work at your office, and then you had your commute and you came home, and that was it. That was home time. And now we don't have that. So for many people, that's why they have that endless train of thoughts. They're waking up at night because there's no mental compartmentalization of this. So it's why it's really important for anyone here that you are doing your best to make sure that you don't have meetings up until the minute you want to stop working, that you're able to leave time at the end of the day to have a bit of a wrap-up activity to decide the next few things you want to do the next day. I will have many times have clients have an end of day ritual. Maybe they take a shower, or they go play with their kids, they go on a walk, something that demarcates the end. This is the end of the workday and I am transitioning into my home time. We really need to create those internal mental boundaries right now, or else, the imposter syndrome is going to be allowed to run rampant.